Hey plant lovers, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be doing a sort of tour slash walkthrough for the end of summer just to see which plants have grown the best this growing season and also which plants haven't grown so well. So let's get into it. So first is my Pilea peperomioides, the Chinese money plant, and I'm really happy with how this one has grown this year. The great thing is this one actually has this little pup coming out of the soil, which I think is just adorable. It's still a baby itself really, and it's already started putting out this little baby, and I was really excited when I saw this. It made me really happy. Yeah, this one has grown really well this summer. And next up is my Syngonium mojito, and I repotted this one fairly recently. It hasn't really stopped growing since I repotted it. It's doing really well and it's nice and healthy. And the great thing about this one is it has these gorgeous new leaves. Look at the variegation on those. I was really happy with those. It's got some really striking variegation. Some of them are a little bit more green, but this vine in particular is putting out probably the best colouring so far. And there also seem to be some new leaves coming through which also look quite highly variegated. So I'm looking forward to seeing those unfurl as well. But yeah, this has just been such an easy growing plant this year. I'm really happy with this one. This is my Alocasia dragon scale, and this one's been growing really well. Alocasias aren't really fast growers generally, but I'd say out of all my Alocasias, this one's the fastest grower. It's just put out this new leaf here. How beautiful and perfect is that? I just love the texture on this plant. And we also have another one unfurling here. It's putting out quite a number of leaves at the moment, and it has yet another one. You can see if you look down into the soil, there are also a few more popping up that haven't quite come up yet. My Cebu Blue is doing really well. A little too well. It's kind of going a little bit nuts. So I've temporarily kind of just put it here next to my plant shelf, and I've kind of just started to wind the vine up the plant shelf just until I can get to the garden centre again so that I can get a pole extension for this one. It has one of those cretised poles, so I think they're fairly easy to extend. But yeah, this one is a prolific grower. It seems that I didn't really need to be too nervous about this string of hearts. I was worried that I wouldn't be very good caring for it, but it seems to be doing really well. All the kind of lighter green leaves are the new growth. And yeah, so far I found it to be fairly easy, and it seems to be growing really well. And I have repotted it too, so the fact that it's still growing after that, I think I may have got the care right on this one, hopefully. But yeah, I'm really enjoying how this one's growing. It's definitely growing much better than I thought it would, that's for sure. As you can see, my Monstera adansonii is growing particularly well this year. It's grown a lot since I last showed you it. It has quite a few kind of massive unruly vines now that have grown right to the floor. And this was after I chopped and propped it. It's grown these huge vines, and yeah, I could extend the pole somehow, but I'm kind of enjoying the unruly nature of it at the moment, the way the vines are just going a bit crazy like this. And I'm just kind of enjoying the way it's growing like this. I may add a pole extension at some point, but if I do, then it's likely to be next year now. But yeah, this one has probably been one of my fastest growers this year for sure, and I've really enjoyed growing this one. And this plant here is actually a pot full of babies from the mother plant, And these are all the propagations that I took, and you can see this one has some foot damage, but it's recovering well. And yeah, these are just a load of cuttings that I took from the mother plant, and I just popped them all into one pot. Even with all the propagating, the mother plant is growing so crazily. And yeah, I think it's just made it grow even stronger. This is my Scindapsus exotica, and this one took a little while to get going, but it's a fairly new plant, and now that it's got going, it has quite a few growth points. You can see the new leaves it's putting out, and it seems to be settling in now. It just needed to kind of get into its stride after adjusting to its new environment. I've done a lot of chopping and propping with my Monstera siltepecana, and it now has all these vines. It only had the one vine when I bought it, but I've done a lot of chopping and propping and planting them back into the pot, and it's starting to become a little bit messy and all over the place, but I quite like that for this plant. My pink syngoniums have had spider mites for a while. There isn't a huge amount of damage because I've been keeping on top of them, spraying them down every 3 days, but they're currently in the bathroom because I figured maybe the humidity in here may help to kill off those spider mites. But I think I'm winning the battle. I hope I am. As I say, there's not a huge amount of damage, so I think I'm winning. Hopefully, fingers crossed. This marble queen has pretty much reached the top of its pole, so it's done some really good growing this season. It doesn't really have any space left at this point, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm assuming it might slow its growth down a bit now. We're coming to the end of summer and going into autumn, but I'm pretty happy with how this one has grown this summer. It's put in some really good growth, and I couldn't really have asked for more with this one. It's done really well, and yeah, it seems to be thriving, so I might have to think about getting it a pole extension at some point. Not sure whether that'll be this year or next. This little baby anthurium continues to be stubborn and has not grown at all. Maybe next year. We'll have to see what happens. But that's okay. You win some, you lose some. This Pachira aquatica did put out some new growth. It put out quite a few little new leaves. It does appear to have slowed down now, I think. So maybe it's getting ready for a little bit of rest for the autumn, but I'm quite happy with how this one has grown. This umbrella plant did put out some really good new growth at the sort of beginning and middle of the season. It's slowed down a bit now, especially after I repotted it. Even though snake plants are quite slow growers, I got some beautiful new growth this year with some lovely variegation on it. My dragon tree has been growing, but not a huge change. It's not really got any kind of noticeable massive growth. It's a fairly slow grower, this one, I'd say, which is fine. My variegated umbrella plant did put out one set of new leaves, and then after that it kind of just stopped for a bit. I did repot it because it was root bound, but now we're going into autumn. It may be next year for more leaves. I had kind of hoped that my fishbone cactus would have grown a little bit more this year, but I think I'm happy with how it's grown. And I've moved it into the bathroom because it's a jungle cactus and it seems to be loving it in here. This Maranta is currently on the naughty step. It has been in isolation in recovery from thrips, but it's still been growing really well and it seems to be recovering pretty well. Still got lots of new growth coming out on this one. It hasn't slowed down yet, so really happy with that. I'm really loving the new growth on my coleus right now. Look at those gorgeous colours. I'm not sure if it's flowering at the moment. Are these flowers? Possibly. But yeah, it's doing really well and the colours are just stunning. I have it in my kitchen where it gets lots of really good light, and yeah, it's got lovely velvety leaves, but it seems to be really thriving, which is always good to see. Lots of new leaves. I recently repotted my Alocasia zebrina, and as you can see, it's looking a little floppy. Well, 3 of the leaves have gone floppy, but the newest leaves are standing tall and looking healthy, so maybe those leaves are just going to die back. I'm not sure what to do yet. They don't seem to be yellow, so I've just left them there. But the rest of the plant is looking lovely, and it doesn't seem to be going completely downhill, so yeah, 50-50 on this one. I think it's okay. I am really chuffed with my new lipstick plant. It's really thriving, putting out lots of new growth and proving itself to be one of those easy care plants that I just absolutely love. I still haven't repotted it. I need to do that soon because it's still in its original soil, but it really seems to be doing well, and this is definitely one of my favourite plants right now. This is my fernwood snake plant, and all the smaller, kind of more bright green growth points are new growth from this season, and I'm really happy with how this one has grown this year. It's definitely a little bit quicker at growing than some other snake plants, and I'm loving how it's starting to look a bit more random and less perfect. I do really enjoy plants when they get a bit more kind of random and wild. That's how I like my plants to be. This moonshine snake plant has also done really well. You can see these smaller leaves here are the new ones that grew this year. And yeah, I just love this plant, especially how the new growth kind of has a much lighter colour, and it's just such a pretty snake plant. I think it might actually be my favourite. I am absolutely loving how fast this Tradescantia grows, and I just love how it looks on my windowsill here. It catches the light really beautifully, and all of the colours kind of shine and shimmer so beautifully, and this is just a lovely plant. It's one of those really common plants which is just really beautiful, cheap and easy to get, and quick to grow. A really easy growing plant. I could highly recommend this one. It's grown so well for me this season. This ruby rubber plant hasn't exactly been the fastest grower this year. I think it's put out 1 or maybe 2 new leaves at the most. Yeah, it's just taken a little bit of time to settle in. I think I may chop it next year to try and branch it out. That's definitely the plan with this one. This philodendron Prince of Orange certainly isn't the fastest grower. However, it's a kind of a medium grower, and it does put out leaf after leaf nice and consistently, and as you can see, it's definitely got more leaves than when I started at the beginning of the season, so I'm really happy with how this one has come along this year and looking forward to it growing some more next year. My variegated peace lily hasn't exactly been the fastest grower. It did have a flower at one point, so that would have slowed down leaf growth, but I'm quite happy. It's put out a number of new leaves, and yeah, it's just settling in. It's still putting out leaves at the moment, so yeah, I'm really happy with this plant. My spider plant has got some babies. Spider plants are known for getting babies. It's grown pretty well this year. I actually had this one from a tiny little cutting that my mother-in-law gave me, and it's turned into this and is now a mum itself. And then over here I have my neon pothos, another of my fastest growers. I absolutely adore this one. It's really hanging well from the shelf now. I looked the other day to see how it looked when I first got it, and it has grown considerably. And yeah, I just love this one. It looks so jungly, kind of just hanging from the shelf there. And I really adore the colour of the leaves too. It's a lovely colour. This Aglaonema Silver Queen remains one of my favourite plants so far this year, and it's grown really well for me. Aglaonemas aren't generally fast growers, I don't think, but it has grown considerably, especially since it's been flowering too. It has a few flowers on it at the moment, and I know a lot of people cut flowers off, but I haven't because I just haven't got around to it. So they're still there, but it's still growing pretty good, and yeah, it's just a gorgeous plant. The variegation on it is just absolutely stunning. I love everything about this plant. It's one of my favourites of all time. And speaking of Aglaonemas, this is my Aglaonema White Joy, another one that's just grown at a steady pace. It hasn't been particularly fast, but I'm always going on about how I'm impressed with how it never browns, even though it's got white leaves. And over here I have another Marble Queen, and yeah, this one has grown pretty well too. It's been fairly consistent in its growth. I think I might need to move it into a highlight area because the variegation is fading a bit. If this one so much whiffs low light, it will revert. So yeah, probably don't put it in lower light. Then this is my Chlorophytum orchidastrum, a relative of the spider plant, and I've found with this one that if you let it dry out, then you get less of the browny kind of black tips. You still get a tiny amount, as you can see, but it's just such a small amount. But yeah. Now, I chopped my Philodendron Brazil and propped it, and it did take quite a long time to start growing back. It is starting to grow back now, so that's good, but we don't have very long vines as a result. But hopefully in the long term this will work out with a better, more fuller plant. That's the plan anyway. But yeah, I really love this plant. One of my favourites for sure. And then moving up here, this is my Raven ZZ, and the new growth that it put out, it only put 2 kind of new stems out, but they're starting to darken off now and go black. It hasn't actually put out any new growth since these. I think it put all of its effort into these ones, but they're really beautiful, and this remains one of my most favourite staple houseplants for sure. If I was to pick my least favourite houseplant of this year, I think it may actually be the Pink Princess. It's kind of more like a poopy princess at the moment, to be honest. There isn't a huge amount of variegation. It's been on this stuck leaf for ages, and a lot of the leaves kind of come out a sort of poopy colour because it's neither pink nor green. The combination kind of makes it brown, and it just looks a bit pathetic, in my opinion. And I think this is definitely one of the most overhyped plants ever. Maybe I'll love it more when it grows bigger. I certainly won't give up on it, but let's just say I'm not exactly pleased with how it's looking right now, and I know a lot of people are feeling the same about their pink princesses. Another plant I'm not exactly enthralled with right now is my Alocasia Polly, and I just repotted this one and it lost 2 leaves, so it's now in the 2-leaf club, and it's looking a bit pathetic with its 2 leaves. Don't get me wrong, the leaves it has, they are beautiful, but yeah, I kind of hoped for a bit more with this one. It does have another one on the way, so hopefully we'll be in the 3-leaf club, but I kind of hoped that it might have held on to a few more leaves. I think maybe it just didn't like that repot. I find that sometimes alocasias can be a little bit finicky after a repot. I don't know if you've had that experience too. Do let me know. Sadly, my Monstera deliciosa has experienced quite a bit of damage due to thrips, and I think I am on top of the thrips, but it did come through with quite a lot of damage. The new leaves came out fairly mangled, and yeah, it's just looking a bit sad at the moment. I'm in 2 minds as to whether to just throw it out, but at the moment I'm just letting it be. Maybe it will bounce back. It's probably going to be next year now because we're coming into the colder months. I'm not sure, should I persevere with this plant or should I just start again with another plant? I'm not quite sure, but yeah, it's just looking a bit lackluster.
Hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and until next time, guys, as always, look after your plants and look after yourself.